My name is Helle and Brian. I'm from Denmark, and I'm one of the co-founder of the new political party.
My name is Brian, and I'm the vice chair of the board of the Alternative in Denmark. We started the Alternative because there's growing mistrust against politicians among the citizens, and we have a feeling that the bigger challenges we face in the world right now, climate change, the lack of trust to the system, needs to be addressed. So the Alternative is very much a new political voice that talk visions instead of numbers in politics. And then we also want to address the fact that politicians usually have a very bad tone towards each other and their work. So we work with this. We work with what we call new political culture, which is very much about seeing the potential in the future instead of seeing the errors or the mistakes or the challenges.
We had good stories for people. We don't talk about politics in a way that rules, but we talk in the political stories. So we talk to the heart of people. We talk about how we can involve people. We talk about that all people had a resource strong. So we don't talk in the way that we talk some groups down. We talk everybody up. We talk all the other political parties, we talk them up. It's not allowed to talk people down. So I think this kind of stories recruit people to the party. We recruit people from other parties, of course, but in Denmark there's only 3% who has been a member of the political party. But we have 30% of the people who vote for us is young people who has never been a member of the party before. But what is interesting now is that 60% of our members talk more politics than they've done before. So that's interesting how we don't only recruit them, but we give them the power and the self-confidence to go and talk with other people. So we are not only a party, we are a movement here under a party. So we don't think that recruit people and get them paid to be a member. We talk more about how can we make stories that you can talk with other people about.
We have 10 MPs at the moment. We still don't have people in local councils since we're going to have the elections for local councils in 2017. So that's our next project. But we consider the Alternative is more than just a political party. It's what Helle mentioned before. We consider ourselves as a political platform in which you can build all sorts of political projects based on our values. We have 6 values and a manifest that is sort of the foundation of our organization. So our first project is the party, where we have a representative in parliament and in local councils. But we also, right now, we are planning to launch a media platform. We have a publisher firm. We have a green market where we sell sustainable products. And we could imagine having like a Frome company or a think tank or something that is based on the values and our manifesto, so that we change society both from a traditional parliamentary point of view, but also in society where it creates value and changes society from beneath.
What would you say is wrong with Danish politics at the moment then that it needs change?
I think that yes, there's a lot of things who's wrong, but that's not the way we are talking about it. We talk about that it's necessary to talk about dream and vision. So we think that we believe in, there's a lot of things who's wrong everywhere, but how, instead of talk about what is wrong, how can you get a talk about what we had to do? We do a lot of analyze. Every time we talk politics, we do a lot of analyze. What is wrong? Who did this and who said this? We had more in Denmark. We had a lot of people who get analyze what the politicians do. But in alternative, we talk about how can we invite people to a conversation about what we want to do and how can we act on it. Because we talk very much about, and we are not only opinion party, we are also an acting party. So we make a lot of projects that we want to live the politician that we talk about. Because I think everybody on the political party want to create happiness for citizens. So if we start to talk with other parties about this question, how can we be together in a new political way?
I think the main difference between local politics and national politics is obviously the scale of it. In local politics, it's way easier to build a community around the actual initiative that is put into the local environment. In a national level, you're more of like you orchestra the link between a nation and a global view. So obviously it's very different, and I think the change, what we believe in the alternative is that we want to be the change we want to see for the world, and that is very much a possibility in a local environment, because you can go, like we see here in Frome, which we're visiting right now, that the politician is more, they're engaging people to start initiatives and projects that has this foundation of sustainability, social engagement, and so on. In a national level, it's more making the political framework or the state framework, so you're able to do that in a local level, but also have the dialogue with a global perspective, because obviously the challenges we see right now is global issues.
I think we had to accept and respect the democracy system. I think that we learn a lot when the democracy system works, and it works in this solution because people had votes, and that's how our democracy is working. So I think maybe we had to have be better to talk about what is your choice mean. So it's not what I have heard that everybody has been afraid to vote here in Britain. So how can we involve people? How the possibility is? How can we be together and have a new political language that everybody understand? How can we? Some things are so difficult, so complex. So I need more simple stories that everybody can understand. Me, for example.
Well, that's a very interesting question. If whether local politics and communities can help people grasp the complexity of international political questions. And actually, I do think local politics have a part in informing people about the world they live in. I think it's quite obvious when we're walking around Frome here, we see that having an understanding of the diversity in also local environment, engaging each other across nationalities, across income and status in society, also makes people more aware that taking that into an international scale, there are far more questions to be asked about immigration, finance, and stuff like that, because they get a feeling of the value of standing together in different way. And I think personally, it's very sad that the UK has voted themselves out of the EU, because obviously the EU is not perfect. There's a lot of faults and errors around that system, but it's still a community. It's a European community that has the potential to actually solve some of the issues we're standing with. So instead of breaking down and exiting from communities, we should go in and try to make them better. I think it's a sad day for the EU and for Europe when people start leaving that community because they're afraid.
And in Denmark we will miss you.
Yeah.